Today I'm walking you through 7 humanoid robots you can actually order, place a deposit on, or already see working on real factory floors. No vaporware, no CGI fakes. 7 real machines, 7 completely different bets on what a humanoid is even for. Let's get into it. Figure 03. First on the list is the Figure 03, and this is the one that quietly changed my mind about the whole category. The 03 is their 3rd generation hardware, and unlike the 01 and 02, this one was engineered from the ground up for the home, not just the warehouse. It stands around 1.68 meters, weighs roughly 60 kilograms, and ditches the exposed metal exoskeleton for a soft, washable textile shell. Why does that matter? Because if a robot is going to walk past your toddler, sharp edges and pinch points are a non-starter. Figure clearly figured that out. Under the fabric, you've got fully custom actuators, redesigned hands with embedded tactile fingertip sensors, and a wireless inductive charging foot pad so the robot just steps onto a mat to top up. No more clunky charging cables. The brain is Helix, Figure's vision language action model, running fully on board. It can fold laundry, load a dishwasher, and pull groceries out of a paper bag without crushing the bread. And it's already deployed at BMW's Spartanburg plant doing real sheet metal work. Figure announced a manufacturing partnership targeting 100,000 robots over the next 4 years out of their BotQ facility. Pricing for the commercial tier sits around $30,000 to $50,000 depending on configuration, with a residential pilot program rolling out to select households this year. This isn't a science fair anymore. This is a product. Tesla Optimus Gen 3. Next is the Tesla Optimus Gen 3, and love or hate Elon, you cannot ignore what Tesla is doing here. Optimus has gone from a guy in a leotard on stage in 2021 to a Gen 3 prototype with 22 degrees of freedom in each hand. That's the same finger count as Xpeng's Iron, and it puts Optimus shoulder to shoulder with the most dexterous humanoids on the planet. The Gen 3 hardware was unveiled in early 2026, and it's a serious upgrade. Tesla redesigned the forearm to house all the finger tendons inside the wrist, freeing up the palm for sensors. The hands now use cable-driven actuators with sub-millimeter precision, which is what you need to thread a needle or screw in a bolt. It runs on a custom Tesla AI inference chip, the same lineage as the FSD computer, and it's trained on the same Dojo supercluster that handles Tesla's autonomy stack. That data flywheel is the real moat. Tesla is already using Optimus units inside its own Fremont and Giga Texas plants for parts handling and battery cell sorting. Musk has publicly committed to a price target of $20,000 to $30,000 at scale, with limited external deliveries beginning late 2026. Now, will Tesla actually hit that timeline? Their track record on dates is spotty at best, but the hardware is real, the software loop is closed, and the manufacturing capacity exists. Optimus is going to ship. It's just a question of when, not if. 1X Neo. Then we have the 1X Neo, and this is the robot that took the most unconventional path to your living room. Norwegian-American startup 1X took one look at the rigid, motor-stacked humanoids everyone else was building and said, no thanks. Neo runs on a tendon drive system, which means instead of bulky direct drive motors at every joint, you've got tendons routed through the limbs powered by remote actuators. The result is a robot that weighs only 30 kilograms, stands 1.65 meters tall, and operates at around 22 decibels. That's quieter than a refrigerator. You could literally have Neo unload your dishwasher at 3 in the morning and not wake up the dog. Neo has a 30-kilogram carry payload, a 4-hour battery, and a soft-knit bodysuit that hides the mechanical bits and makes it pet-safe. The compute is on board, running 1X's Redwood Foundation model, which was trained on thousands of hours of teleoperated household data. Early home pilots in Silicon Valley and Oslo have Neo doing dishes, watering plants, taking out trash, and tidying up after kids. Pricing starts at $20,000 outright or $499 a month on a subscription, and 1X is already taking deposits with shipments starting this year. The pitch isn't flashy specs. The pitch is that your robot should be quiet, soft, and gentle. And honestly, after watching it move, I think they nailed it. Boston Dynamics Atlas Electric. Up next is the Boston Dynamics Atlas Electric, and this isn't a YouTube clip anymore. This is a product on the floor. If you grew up watching the hydraulic Atlas do parkour and backflips, just know that machine is officially retired. The all-electric Atlas, unveiled in 2024 and ramped through 2025, is what took its place, and Hyundai is the parent that finally made it a real business. The specs are genuinely intimidating. 56 degrees of freedom, fully rotational joints that let it spin its torso 360 degrees, a 2.3-meter reach, 50 kilograms of lift capacity, IP54 dust and water resistance, and an operating range from -20 to +40 Celsius. When the battery dips, Atlas walks itself to a charging dock, swaps the pack, and keeps moving. The end effector is a 3-fingered gripper with a palm-mounted camera and 7 degrees of freedom in each hand. Some people look at 3 fingers and say, that's not enough. I'd argue it's exactly right. 5-fingered hands are overkill for industrial sequencing tasks, and 3 fingers means fewer parts to fail. The brain is the large behavior model, co-developed with Toyota Research Institute. A human demonstrates a task once through VR teleoperation, the data trains in simulation, and the resulting policy runs about 1.5 to 2 times faster than the human teacher. The robot literally outpaces its trainer. Atlas is already deployed at Hyundai's Metaplant America facility doing parts sequencing. New external customer slots open in 2027. The price is steep, around $420,000 per unit, but you're paying for enterprise-grade Hyundai-backed manufacturing. This is the real deal. Unitree G1 Edu. Now let's talk about the robot that broke the price barrier, the Unitree G1 Edu. Here's what I respect about Unitree more than any other company in this space. While everyone else was chasing the most impressive demo, Unitree asked a totally different question. What if researchers and developers could actually afford one? The G1 starts at $13,500. That's not a typo. When the rest of this list ranges from $30,000 to nearly $500,000, Unitree just kicked the door down. The base unit gives you 23 degrees of freedom, 1.27 meters of height, 35 kilograms of weight, and a 2-hour battery. The Edu Ultimate Config tops out around $73,900 and adds an NVIDIA Jetson Orin NX delivering 100 TOPS of compute, DeX 3.1 tactile hands, up to 43 degrees of freedom, full software development kit access, and 3D LiDAR. And don't let the price fool you, this is not a toy. The knees deliver 120 Newton-meters of torque, the frame is carbon fiber, and it ships with Intel RealSense cameras, ROS2 support, Python and C++ bindings, and built-in imitation learning. Show it a task, it watches, it learns, and it executes. Over 5,000 G1s have shipped. The G1 also holds a 1.4-meter standing long jump record and pulls off side flips and kip-ups for fun. Unitree didn't just build a cheap humanoid, they built the humanoid that put this whole field in researchers' hands. That's how a category accelerates. Xpeng Iron Gen 2. Sixth on the list is the Xpeng Iron Gen 2, and here's a pattern worth catching. The companies best positioned to build humanoids at scale aren't always the pure-play robotics startups. They're the ones that already mass-produce precision machines. Cars, basically. Xpeng is the cleanest example of that thesis right now. At their AI Day event in Guangzhou in late 2025, Xpeng pulled the cover off the next-gen Iron, and the audience genuinely thought a person was inside the suit. It walked that naturally. CEO He Xiaopeng came back the next morning in front of cameras and literally unzipped the back of the robot to prove there was no human in there. Iron without skin trended on Douyin for 2 days. The specs back up the show. Iron stands 1.78 meters tall, weighs 70 kilograms, and has 82 degrees of freedom, with 22 in each hand. The hand uses what Xpeng calls the industry's smallest harmonic joint in the fingers, giving it a 1-to-1 human-scale replication. It picks up eggs without cracking them. The spine articulates in every direction, and the entire body is wrapped in a soft skin layer with embedded pressure sensors. Compute comes from 3 proprietary Turing AI chips totaling 2,250 TOPS. And Iron is the first humanoid to ship with full solid-state batteries, which are safer, lighter, and longer lasting than current lithium packs. Iron is already on the P7 EV production line in Xpeng's own factory. Price is expected to land around $150,000, and the SDK is opening to global developers. When Elon Musk says Tesla and Chinese companies will dominate this market, this is what he's looking at. Robotera L7. And finally, the Robotera L7, my personal favorite on this list. If you've never heard of Robotera, pay close attention because these guys are doing things nobody else is even attempting. Robotera spun out of Tsinghua University in Beijing, and the L7 is their flagship. 1.71 meters tall, 65 kilograms, 55 degrees of freedom, and it holds 2 independently verified world records. Fastest humanoid robot at 4 meters per second, which is roughly 14.4 kilometers an hour, and highest standing jump for a humanoid. The hand is the part that makes me sit up straight. Fully direct-driven, 5-fingered, with 12 independently actuated degrees of freedom. Every finger moves on its own. The knees deliver 400 Newton-meters of peak torque. The frame mixes aerospace-grade aluminum with carbon fiber, the arm span hits 2.1 meters, and dual-arm payload is 20 kilograms. Sensor stack is binocular cameras, full microphone array, and 3D LiDAR. Compute runs on a dual stack, x86 at 80 TOPS plus an NVIDIA Orin at 275 TOPS, and the ERA42 embodied AI model runs everything end-to-end with no cloud dependency. Now here's the fun part. Just before Chinese New Year 2026, the L7 performed a fully choreographed sword dance based on the Dugu 9 Swords fictional martial arts style. Jumping, slashing, sharp pivots, clean landings, sword never slipped once. It also dances hip-hop, tens bar, and pulls 360-degree spin jumps. On the industrial side, it sorts packages, scans barcodes, tightens screws, handles textiles, and assembles components. Over 200 units have shipped. 9 of the 10 largest tech companies in the world are customers. Pricing sits around $200,000 depending on config. The L7 doesn't compromise. Fast and precise, industrial and entertaining, all in one chassis. That combination is the future. So there you have it. 7 humanoid robots, 7 wildly different visions for what this category becomes. A $13,500 research platform sitting next to a $420,000 factory worker. A whisper-quiet, textile-skinned home robot next to a sword-dancing world record holder. There's room for all of it, and every single one is moving faster than the last. A couple of years ago, I would have laughed at the idea I'd ever care about humanoid robots. Now I'm refreshing news pages every morning. If this video opened your eyes the way the research opened mine, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next wave, and drop a comment telling me which of these 7 you'd actually bring home. I read every single one. See you in the next video.